Today, I'm joined by Renee Kohlman to talk about her new cookbook, Vegetables, A Love Story. So to start, would you be able to just tell me a little bit about this book?
Sure. It's called Vegetables, a Love Story. So here's the cover. And it's about vegetables. And it all started when my boyfriend gave me a bundle of asparagus on our first date 5.5 years ago. He's a vegetable farmer and I'm a professional cook slash baker. So it was a very good fit. He's a food guy and I'm a food girl. So it's a match made in heaven. So the book is inspired by all the vegetables he'd bring to my door.
And the book, it definitely has all the recipes, but it's also a little bit about your relationship to your partner and then also your guys' relationship with vegetables. Could you maybe talk a little bit about that?
So it's about our relationship together, and cooking and food is about nurturing, right? So he nurtures me when he brings me vegetables. I nurture him when I cook the vegetables and we have dinner together. So I think sharing food together is a huge part of our relationship. It's just so symbiotic with his vegetables and my cooking. And yeah, I just love what he's able to bring to my door and all the recipes that's been inspired by his vegetables.
And then so sort of growing up in the prairies on a farm, do you think that shaped the way that you cook now?
I do. I lived on a farm till I was about 7, and so like one of my earliest memories is digging up potatoes, right, with these little hands, and you're kind of searching underneath the dirt to try and find the potatoes, and even just running through tall, the corn. Like when you're a little kid and you're running through corn, it's like the best thing ever. So from an early age, I knew had a good idea of where food came from, and so that's of course it's shown in the stories as well in my book and in the recipes too. And Dixon as well, obviously he grew up on a farm growing vegetables with his family. So we both have this knowledge of like the earth and respect for the earth and our environment and just feeding people.
Both my parents grew up on farms, so we had big vegetable gardens that we'd go every fall and we'd collect all the fresh vegetables too.
Yeah. And then just like how those seasonal vegetables taste so much better than, anything you can get in the grocery store, like a summer fresh tomato or like new potatoes and beans and peas, right? It just tastes so good. So
For
the book
sure.
also talks about like eating seasonally and eating locally as much as possible, that sort of thing. And just trying to buy it from local farmers if you can. And growing your own food too, because it tastes so much better.
And then for the book, each chapter is arranged by different vegetables. Do you maybe have a favorite chapter or a favorite recipe from the book?
Yeah, it's from A to Z. So asparagus to zucchini and everything in between. I initially had about 130 recipes, and my publisher was like, Renee, we can't, it'll be huge. So she's like, how about 80? And I'm like, oh gosh, how about 90? So we kind of narrowed it down to 90, which meant I had to eliminate some chapters. I wanted to do like a celery chapter and an eggplant chapter and a leek chapter, but those didn't make the cut, unfortunately. But I do love cabbage, like all the brassicas that people kind of overlook or else just overboil. But I love cabbage. I could have had probably 10 more cabbage recipes as it was. I think there's like five or six in the cabbage section. And same with potatoes. I think, people really love potatoes in the prairie provinces. So I think I had about 10 potato recipes I had to knock down to 5 or 6. So I love the potato chapter and the tomato chapter too. I could have gone on and on about tomatoes, but as it is, there's like, I think 5 or 6. So
And then so when was the book published?
the official publication date was October 12th, so just last week. And it's in stores now, it's online. You can pretty much find it, yeah, wherever your favorite books are sold.
And so is the book all primarily vegetarian dishes? Is there also some other meat dishes as well with vegetables?
It reflects a lot of how I eat. So I do eat meat. I love bacon. I love like hamburger and chicken. So there is a little bit of meat in the book. It's vegetable focused for sure, but there is ground beef and chicken and shrimp and some fish. A lot of pulses like lentils and beans to give people a bit of an idea on how to use them, and also just to stretch. If you are cooking with ground beef, you can also stretch, things with lentils to make it go a little bit further. It's vegetable focused for sure, but not completely vegetarian. If you are vegetarian, there's a lot of options on how to eliminate the meat and still have it be delicious. Or if you want to add meat to some of the recipes, I give lots of, substitution advice as well for that. If you have to have, meat in your chili, then sure, go ahead and add some meat. So it's really flexible, I think, and really adaptable to however people eat. Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations on the book. And thank you for taking the time to meet with me.